Tonight, President Biden making his case to keep running. Hosting events, meeting governors, and sitting for an interview, the president and his team trying to prove he is still up to the job as former President Trump takes aim at Biden and Vice President Harris. Plus, after slamming Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, Hurricane Beryl is still on the move, where it's headed next and the impact it could have on the U.S. And
AI stuff looks very filtery and very, way too perfect or way too weird to, be real.
In tonight's Prime Focus, we dive into the AI company putting the power to determine what AI influencers think is cool into the hands of those who understand it the most, teenagers, as they create the next hot thing. Good evening. I'm Phil Lipoff in tonight for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are going to begin with President Biden's vow to stay in the race for the White House, despite calls to step aside following his poor debate performance against Donald Trump 1 week ago now. The president and his team have been trying to calm fears about his mental ability. During radio interviews today, he admitted he had, quote, a bad debate. And new details about a meeting between President Biden and Democratic governors at the White House. The president allegedly telling the governors he needs more sleep and to stop scheduling events after 8 p.m. Tomorrow, President Biden sits down with George Stephanopoulos for his first televised interview since that debate. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang leads us off.
Tonight, President Biden trying to reassure Democrats as his political future hangs in the balance. In radio interviews today, the president admitting he had a bad debate.
I screwed up. I made a mistake. That's 90 minutes on stage. Look at what I've done in 3.5 years.
In recent days, the president has blamed his travel schedule and a cold for his poor performance. During a meeting with Democratic governors at the White House last night, sources tell ABC News the president said he needs to get more sleep and work fewer hours, even suggesting he should end events at 8 p.m. Sources say the president also telling those governors he saw a doctor in the days following the debate last week to check on his cold, despite the White House telling reporters he hadn't received a medical exam.
I believe in this man. I believe in his character.
Today, California Governor Gavin Newsom campaigning in battleground Michigan, brushing off concerns about the president after that meeting.
Joe Biden's our president. He said he's all in. I doubled down, said I'm all in. And not only that, I'm here with you to prove it.
But new polls showing former President Trump's widening lead. And now 3 Democratic lawmakers, Lloyd Doggett, Raul Grijalva, and Seth Moulton, are calling for Biden to drop out of the race, as others publicly question his continued candidacy.
I think if Joe Biden chooses to run, he's going to lose.
We needed a boost from Thursday. We didn't get it. And the campaign has been very, I think, arrogant in their response.
We need a reset. We need a course correction. We've got to acknowledge that this was not just one bad night.
Some Democrats signaling they would rally behind Vice President Kamala Harris if Biden were to step aside, and Trump taking notice. This video circulating online.
She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
The president and allies trying to calm anxieties within the party. Biden telling supporters in a fundraising message he's in this race to the end. But some Democrats say he needs to prove he's up for a second term.
I think that the one clear thing this week is that there's only one person that can show he is up to the job, has the stamina to do the job, that he will do the job, and that is Joe Biden.
Selena joins us from the White House now. Selena, what's next on President Biden's push to prove himself?
Yeah, Phil, I mean, these next few days are critical for the president. Tomorrow, he's hitting the campaign trail in battleground Wisconsin, and he's sitting down for an interview with our George Stephanopoulos. Donors and allies, I'm told, they're closely watching that interview and his upcoming public events as they weigh their future support for the president. Phil?
I'll be watching it closely. Selena, thank you. Yeah, and that interview with our George Stephanopoulos will air right here on ABC News Live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Turning now to Hurricane Beryl, the storm is taking aim now at the Gulf of Mexico and possibly the Texas coast as early as Sunday night. The hurricane, now a Category 2 storm with winds up to 110 miles per hour. Beryl has already blasted the Cayman Islands and Jamaica, destroying homes, downing trees, blocking roads. ABC's Faith Abube reports from Jamaica again tonight.
Tonight, Hurricane Beryl, now a Category 2 storm, churning towards Mexico after hammering the Cayman Islands with a powerful storm surge.
Was really blowing for a bit. We had very strong tropical storm force winds.
Beryl has flattened homes and battered harbors across the Caribbean. At least 9 people killed, including 2 reported deaths in Jamaica. People here picking up the pieces today after the storm ripped roofs and knocked out power to more than half the island. Roads flooded. This historic bridge swallowed by a rising river. In Montego Bay, hot and frustrated travelers waiting all day for the airport to reopen.
The airport's not even open. And they're not updating and saying, oh, flight been canceled. People still waiting, thinking they finna catch a flight.
So what do? Stay here all night, sleep out here on the sidewalk? We've already checked out of the resort. So we're on our own pretty much.
Police later handing out water. Meanwhile, tonight, resort towns along Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula bracing for Beryl's direct blow tomorrow. Racing to board up and evacuate coastal communities. Cancun officials even moving 10,000 sea turtle eggs to safety from their nests on the beach to protect them from the storm surge. Texas preparing for potential impact from Beryl 2. As early as Sunday night, Corpus Christi already handing out sandbags, taking no chances.
Mother Nature will do what she's going to do, and just you don't want to be caught unprepared.
Faith joins us from Jamaica again tonight. Faith, do you know when these airports will reopen?
Well, here in Montego Bay, we're told that the international airport, which is right behind me here, reopens tonight, even though you're not seeing any planes there right now. But we're told it will reopen tonight. The one in Kingston reopens tomorrow. The Minister of Tourism tells me that tomorrow, all 3 international airports on this island should be fully operational. Phil?
That's some good news for the folks there. Faith Abube, thank you. I want to bring in Sandra Hill now, a resident of the Cayman Islands, riding a storm out there tonight. Sandra, we understand, obviously, you have some damage there. I'm curious what you're seeing now, what's happening there right now.
Right. So we have received the all clear as of a few hours ago for all 3 of our islands. And I must say that seeing your coverage on Jamaica and even some of the other islands, Grenada previously, we have fared actually pretty well. We don't have any significant damage. There are a few condos on the south sound end of the island that received some damage. They're right on the beachfront, and that's to be expected when this type of hurricane comes in at a particular angle. So our airport has already reopened as of 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're pretty much back to normal. There were some downed trees. There is a road closure. So the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service has announced that one road is unsafe at this time. So the National Roads Authority and other government agencies will continue to restore those sort of essential, small but important elements to get our infrastructure back up to 100%. But we're very thankful.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. We heard that from folks in Jamaica as well. With the storm that large, it could have been so devastating. So we're happy to hear that. I'm wondering, what was the preparation like for you there, knowing what could have happened?
You know, I think that people who could remember Hurricane Ivan, this was sort of the first major threat of this category since that storm. They took it extremely seriously. So people prepared, they boarded up, they had their hurricane kits. The government in particular was on board 100% with hazard management. It was really all hands on deck. And I think given what I'm seeing coming off the coast of Africa already, it's probably a good thing because we're in for a bit of a rough hurricane season this year for sure.
Yeah, well, so far, I'm glad you're able to report to us that things are the way they are tonight. Sandra Hill, thanks so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Let's get right to WABC meteorologist Danny Backstrom now. Danny, where is this storm headed? What's the track?
Phil, tonight, Beryl, a Category 2 hurricane, now heading toward Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula with landfall forecast by tomorrow morning somewhere between Tulum and Cancun. The land interaction should then weaken Beryl before it moves back into the Gulf's warm water, fueling the re-strengthening ahead of another forecast landfall in northeast Mexico or South Texas. Impacts there felt as early as Sunday night. Now, the area of high pressure steering the storm is also the source of that scorching heat in the southeast, with another day of triple-digit heat indices tomorrow, from Austin to Atlanta up to D.C. While out west, excessive heat warnings from Washington State to Arizona. Some spots like Las Vegas are challenging all-time heat records. The top temp ever recorded in Vegas is 117 degrees. They've done that 5 times. The forecast high on Sunday is 118. And remember, that's actual air temperature, not heat index, so it's dangerous even for those that are acclimated. Phil?
All right, meteorologist Danny Beckstrom tonight. Danny, thank you. That scorching heat that Danny's talking about is fueling a raging wildfire in Northern California. About 2,000 firefighters are battling what's called the Thompson Fire in 110-degree heat. Nearly 30,000 people have been evacuated. ABC's Melissa Adan is on the fire line.
Tonight, 4th of July fireworks banned in Butte County, California, and celebrations scrapped. The stubborn Thompson wildfire forcing close to 30,000 people from their homes, authorities warning the community.
Don't be an idiot. Cause a fire and create more problems for us.
What is the messaging moving forward?
When you're told not to use them, don't do so.
The blaze scorching more than 3,700 acres and still only 7% contained. 4 structures destroyed and thousands more tonight in jeopardy. Residents leaving their homes in desperation.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be a tough firefight.
Nearly 2,000 first responders fighting the flames in triple-digit temperatures, 4 suffering heat-related injuries. Firefighters here in Oroville working to put out hot spots as they work to contain this wildfire.
It's awful. It's gut-wrenching.
Mark Alvideres says he, his wife, and dog had only minutes to leave their home in Oroville, calling it surreal.
The sun was being blurred out. You see neighbors just panicking and trying to get out. That's when it hit me. Like, this is real. I got to leave.
Thanks to Melissa Adan on the fire line for us. Meantime, police are on high alert across the U.S. as millions celebrate this 4th of July. Here in New York, the NYPD is increasing patrols and surveillance on land, in the air, and on the water for the Macy's fireworks display. Aaron Katersky with more.
Tonight, the nation's largest fireworks display launches while thousands of New York City police officers stand at the ready on Manhattan's West Side.
You will see some of the assets, like uniformed members in the street. You'll see our K-9 deployment, some of our counterterrorism deployment.
Drones hover above the crowd. Police boats patrol the Hudson River.
Part of the security operation involves shutting down the streets to accommodate hundreds of thousands of spectators who want to watch the fireworks. It's an elaborate operation, but needed, police say, because the threat environment is so complicated.
You have a vibrant terrorism threat overseas. You have a lot of polarization here.
An intelligence bulletin obtained by ABC News says a significant threat comes from lone offenders and small groups of individuals seeking to commit acts of violence, some of them motivated by the relentless war between Israel and Hamas. The NYPD saying hate crimes against Jews have surged. The bulletin said the fireworks in New York and similar events in San Francisco and Las Vegas remain attractive targets, but there's no indication of an organized plot.
Aaron Katersky from New York tonight. Aaron, thank you. Now to the high-stakes election in the UK, with exit polls showing Conservatives are facing an historic defeat. ABC's foreign correspondent James Longman in London for us.
An earthquake in British politics predicted tonight in an historic election. The UK's official exit poll showing the governing Conservative Party, led by Rishi Sunak, defeated in a landslide, ending 14 years of power.
If you want change, you have to vote for it.
61-year-old Keir Starmer is now likely the new Prime Minister, a former public prosecutor running for the Labour Party on a campaign of change. A potent message with Britain in the throes of a major cost of living crisis and public services in serious decline.
I just want a kinder economy is what I'm after.
The Labour Party now looking at its biggest victory ever, flipping the Parliament and taking over the vast majority of seats. And the Conservatives are headed for their worst result since the party was founded in 1834. They've struggled to recover from the scandal of Boris Johnson's Downing Street COVID parties and the turmoil of the Brexit referendum, which split the country and the party and led to 5 prime ministers in just 6 years.
After the Brexit vote, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, totally destroyed any confidence that I had in the party.
Phil, if these predictions are correct, Keir Starmer will visit the King tomorrow morning. Charles will ask him to form a new government, and then Starmer will go directly to Downing Street to start his job as the new Prime Minister. Phil?
James Longman from London tonight. James, thank you. Now to the expanding violence in the Middle East, with Hezbollah firing more than 250 rockets into Israel as retaliation for a deadly Israeli strike. It comes as President Biden speaks to the Israeli Prime Minister about a ceasefire deal. ABC's Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv.
On the ground in northern Israel, signs of the looming war with Hezbollah.
This fire is about to jump this road. It's climbed up this entire valley. You can see the flames.
It's been climbing up the valley for the minutes that we've been here.
A barrage of nearly 300 rockets fired by the Iranian-backed militia over the past 24 hours followed the assassination of one of Hezbollah's highest-ranking commanders in an Israeli drone strike. That barrage killing one and igniting dozens of fast-moving brush fires, including this one in Kanaf.
Firefighters are losing control of this fire. You can see everybody starting to pull back from where we are. They have that digger. These engines have been retreating. They're trying to now protect this town.
Many of the firefighters, local farmers, racing to keep the flames from reaching the nearby village.
We live here. We are the first responders, and this is our duty to take care of this mess.
Israel responding with artillery fire and airstrikes, also sparking fires on the Lebanese side. One fatality reported there. Israel and Hezbollah have both agreed to the general parameters of a deal brokered by the U.S. to avert war, but Hezbollah has said it will not sign until there's a ceasefire in Gaza.
And Phil, there's been significant movement on those stalled Gaza ceasefire talks. Tonight, the Israeli cabinet meeting to discuss this latest draft from Hamas. And President Biden had a call today with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. That it happened on July 4th gives you a sense of the urgency this administration feels to finalize this deal. And a reminder, Phil, there are still 5 Americans being held captive in Gaza. Phil.
Yes, there are. Matt Gutman, thank you for that report. Back here at home, a Chicago suburb welcomes back a tradition 2 years after a horrific tragedy. The Highland Park Parade returned this year, the first since 7 people were killed in a mass shooting at that parade in 2022. This year was scaled back and followed a new route. Before the parade began, there was a ceremony to honor the victims. The parent company of Saks Fifth Avenue has bought its rival Neiman Marcus for $2.65 billion. The new entity will be called Saks Global, creating a luxury powerhouse. The company says this brand will give shoppers better access to up-and-coming designers, and customers will also see their experiences more personalized through improved use of artificial intelligence. And now to the beef over that Nathan's hot dog eating contest. The 4th of July tradition looked a little different this year. Held without 16-time champion Joey Chestnut, Patrick Bertoletti of Chicago was crowned this year's men's title after devouring 58 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. And Miki Sudo broke the women's world record by eating 51 hot dogs and buns and winning her 10th title. 16-time winner Chestnut instead competed at the Pop Goes the Fort celebration, live streamed in Texas, eating 57 hot dogs to raise money for military families. It comes after a disagreement with the Nathan's contest over his partnership with Impossible Foods. There is still much more to get to here tonight on Prime. Meet the organization giving displaced LGBTQ youth somewhere to call home. But next, with artificial intelligence proliferating on screens, we look at the big business of AI influencers and the teenagers behind their profiles.
Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines. From southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London. Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
We are
part of an operation.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate. Militants came in from different directions. Nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag...
Not a carry in it.
How important is made to USA?
Great work.
Hi. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Ismail? David.
David.
I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
Watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
3, 2, 1, go!
All aboard.
Hey, Shark.
That's really cool.
Shark Fest is back on National Geographic.
Look at this giant shark coming in.
That is exactly what we were trying to get. This is incredible.
Wow. I've never seen anything move like that.
I am so excited.
Shark Fest all week long on National Geographic.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different.
The critics agree.
Hated the Brat Pack. What a disaster.
Why did we take it as an offense?
I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything. Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium.
1985? I think we could have.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
Welcome back. AI isn't just taking over music or writing essays. It's also entered the world of social media influencing. You can find a variety of profiles with a large following, but how do they keep it? Well, one company behind these AI influencers are enlisting the experts on everything trendy, teenagers. ABC's Emmanuel Saliba with the details.
You might have come across one of these influencers on your social feeds without realizing that not a single one is human.
They all have different names and personalities.
Well, my favorite ones are Agnes, and she's kind of like a dark academia, like a writer.
Sid, which is like a seaside kind of seaweed girl.
And then there's Billy, who's like this cowboy, and then he's also like a drag queen, which I think is pretty cool.
These AI influencers were created with the help of humans like 16-year-old Sawyer and Eden. They are paid by a startup called Lee, which says it's creating an ecosystem of AI-driven micro-influencers they call entities.
So we have co-creators that help with actual entity development, so the virtual influencer themselves, what do they look, feel, move through the world like, but also what is the content that they're putting forward.
Sawyer and Eden were part of a small group testing the concept earlier this year.
You click on some images, just sort through them.
You're like, oh, this one is like too symmetrical, or it's like too perfect.
See, she's got only 4 fingers, it looks like. And she's also eating full apples with chopsticks. That's not realistic.
Like this one, for example, I think that's like very much what Agnes likes. So like I just like go in and like pick it, and then it gets sent. And that's really it.
Lead says they will soon launch another group of creators who will be able to control an AI persona via an app. But this startup isn't the first to venture into the world of entirely synthetic influencers. In 2016, another company introduced Lil Miquela, an AI-generated character with a total fan base of over 7 million across platforms. And it's not just the large following. Miquela is partnering with brands like BMW, PacSun, and more.
I think I realized that AI influencers were here to stay when I started seeing them doing video and doing it in mass, right? Because first, it popped up with Miquela a couple of years ago, and it was kind of cool because she looked a little uncanny valley. You could tell that she wasn't quite real. It was interesting what technology could do. And then they started doing video. And it would be, doing a hair video, and they were talking about how they love their new hair product, but it wasn't real.
Human influencers like Danae Mercer are warning their followers to be careful about what they consume on social media.
It is not even based in the foundations of reality. It is not taking my face and popping a filter on it. It is creating something probably often to suit the male gaze that is hyper realistic. So I hope you have brands saying like, wait a second, she doesn't have hair. Should we actually sponsor her for a hair campaign? She doesn't work out. Should she really be taking our supplements? Her body is not real. But what about the teenage girl that looks at this very delicate, impossible standard of beauty and starts comparing herself to that and sees brands endorsing that and sees that person getting Instagram fame, which in today's world is currency for teenagers? What about that girl? You know, and that is where Instagram and social media needs to step in and say, this isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real.
Now that I've kind of familiarized myself with a lot of different AI images and, you know, what to kind of look for, it's easier to point out the kinds of things that AI gets confused about.
AI stuff looks very filtery and very like way too perfect or way too weird to like be real. The makeup will look perfect and the lighting is perfect and the angle is perfect. Like that's not usually what happens in human photos.
You know, you're just picking images that other people are gonna see and compare themselves to. Part of me wishes that there were more, you know, realistically human characteristics.
Like everything, there are limitations to where the technology is today from an image generation standpoint and how raw that looks. What can we do that's proprietary to make some of these images a little bit more real?
The Partnership on AI, a nonprofit coalition committed to responsible use of AI, has created a set of guidelines for social media companies to ethically distribute and label AI-generated content.
There's a general push in the field for broader transparency about identifying and noting to audiences in different contexts. You want to know that what you are seeing is truthful in terms of the narrative and what they're presenting, not necessarily just the tool that they used to do that.
Meta says they label photorealistic images created using their own AI tool, but they don't require users to label AI-generated influencers created using other tools. Users on TikTok must clearly disclose all realistic AI content. And both platforms say they are working on tools that could detect and automatically label AI content.
There's a visceral appeal to putting a little mark on TikTok or a mark on Instagram that says this is fake. But whether or not people care and whether or not that will be applied in a context that matters is a big open question.
AI is going to become more and more like prominent kind of in like social media world and just like society in general. So I think it's like good that like younger people and older people too like get to like play around with that.
In a 2023 study, more than half of a group of influencers polled said they were already using AI as part of their work. 34% said they used it to generate images or videos.
Ultimately, I'm personally able to like understand what's real and what's not. Seeing it used in like a creative way makes me kind of, you know, hopeful that it's not, you know, being used to just like destroy artists and all this terrible stuff that you think about.
Just because something's AI generated doesn't mean it's problematic or deceptive. We need to make sure that while it may seem fine for influencers to be, you know, saying that this new lip gloss is really meaningful, we don't want that same technology to be used to cast doubt on much more, I would argue, high stakes use cases than lip gloss.
Our thanks to Emmanuel for that. And still here on Prime, 'tis the season for grilling, but is inflation hitting your backyard? We're taking a look at the cost of cookouts by the numbers. Plus, it is a new era for punk rock royalty. Our sit down with Green Day as the band embarks on their highly anticipated Saviors tour.
You want to leave a legacy behind, not just to fans, but actually to your family and or something that's like deeply personal.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions. Operational nuclear reactor. So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love it.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you. David, good to meet you. Ismail? David.
David.
Yes, yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
I watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast. Whenever news breaks,
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
There is a price to be paid every time a survivor shares their story. I will not be silenced.
Do you feel the church accepted abuse?
I wouldn't say accepted it as so much pretended it didn't exist.
Yep, that's him.
Yep.
Ready? Kira Phillips with ABC News. Does your church protect sexual predators?
The powerful new Impact by Nightline. Secrets of the 2x2 Church.
There's nothing pretty about hearing this.
Now streaming on Hulu.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the daily news podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Hey, good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too. I'll be here.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
Michael, George, Clara, Ginger.
Reporting from the Normandy coast for the 80th anniversary of D-Day, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. It turns out grilling at home can save you some big dough this holiday weekend. Economists say the worst of food inflation is behind us, but it may take some smart shopping to still get those savings. We have what to watch out for in tonight's By the Numbers. A home-cooked burger is now 3 times cheaper than dining out, according to a new report from Wells Fargo. Firing up the grill could save you about $48 on burgers for 10 family and friends. For the sides, white potato prices are down 4.4%, while potato chip prices are up nearly 3%. So homemade potato salad may be the way to go. When it comes to dessert, cupcakes are up about 5.5%. That's a crime in and of itself. While ice cream will cost a relatively cool 3.3% more. Bottled iced tea prices are up nearly 2.5%, so it's best to brew your own, obviously. And if you're drinking soda, choose bottles over cans. The 2-liter bottles are down 6.5% from a year ago, but higher aluminum prices mean 12-ounce cans are costing nearly 5% more. And if your holiday weekend plans have you hitting the roads, there is some good news. Gas prices are at a 3-year low averaging less than $3.50 a gallon. Still much more ahead here on Prime. So many young people in the LGBTQ community finding a place to live can be a struggle. So meet the group giving some of those young people a place to call home. And they are way more than just American idiots. Green Day has paved the way for punk rock over the years. Coming up, my sit down with the band as they embark on a new era of their storied career.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas,
Edinburgh, Scotland, from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation.
You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. Raleigh, North Carolina. The U.S. Capitol. Mayfield, Kentucky. Minneapolis.
Mexico. Tongass National Forest, Alaska.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen. Giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about. The migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different.
The critics agree.
Hated the Brat Pack. What a disaster.
Why did we take it as an offense?
I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything.
Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium.
1985?
I think we could have.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories. Start here.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Make it your daily first listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Shohei Ohtani, legends of the game. But now the list of greats redefined. From ABC News, Reclaim the Forgotten League. A side of the story of baseball you have never heard before like this. The award-winning podcast is back. Listen wherever you get your podcasts or scan the QR codes you see here.
ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Welcome back. As we mark Pride Month, we want to shine a light on the people helping to provide inclusive spaces for LGBTQ community members, focusing on LGBTQ youth struggling to find a place to live. Our Timothy Pullum takes us to Los Angeles and the people who are providing a home and a community for those who need it.
Just 3 miles east of downtown Los Angeles sits a property like few others in the country. And a safe haven, especially for queer youth. Dozens of young people who would otherwise be homeless and food insecure now have a place to call home. This is Los Angeles Room and Board.
Students spend a lot of time out here? Yes. So we do a lot of our events and our programming back here in the backyard.
What is Los Angeles Room and Board?
LA Room and Board is focused on ending homelessness, but really as a tool for college completion so we can ensure that folks get to graduation.
And why is that important?
The California Budget and Policy Center forecasts that by 2030, the LA region will experience a deficit of 1 million college-educated workers. For most of its history, had some kind of altruistic purpose, like a school, a hostel for, for youth and for young women.
LA Room and Board's Dunamis House looks more like a luxury boutique hotel than a typical dormitory or shelter, providing 64-bed spaces for students, an on-site barbershop and cafeteria with a gourmet chef, study areas, and lounges.
I wanted to kind of create the best parts of my childhood, where there were a lot of people around, a lot of noise and activity and laughter, and make sure that people felt like they could be safe.
Researchers at UCLA estimating 1 in 5 community college students, 1 in 10 California State University students, and 1 in 20 University of California students experience homelessness.
38% of the folks who, occupy, the homeless sector are Black people. We only make up 9% of the population here in LA. 40% of the folks who exist in the homeless sector are queer youth.
In fact, the National Coalition for the Homeless estimates LGBTQ youth are 120% more likely to be homeless than non-queer youth.
We're so used to people denying us of being their kids because of our gender expression, of us being, gay, transgender, gender nonconforming. Like, it's always a problem. And so when something's a problem, people are always gonna give you a hard time. And I never felt like the parents that I've had accepted me for who I was.
Sherbet Diaz arrived 6 months ago to LA Room and Board after aging out of foster care with no place to go.
What I like about here is even the messages that they send, come as you are. When I moved in here, I was so amazed. I was so wowed. I've never seen anything like this. This is one of one. This is literally so special.
Protecting queer residents like Sherbet hits close to Sam's heart and his own identity. The Detroit native grew up as the 12th of 14 children in a religious family.
I had some challenges, right? I remember the moments, when you're born and raised in church, right? And all the sort of messaging you get about who you are. Before I even knew who I was, right? And what gay was, I was being called that all the time at home or at school, in the neighborhood. And so I was always I feel different. Something about me is different. I don't really quite know what it is. I didn't fully have the language at the time to sort of and then, looking back in retrospect, you sort of say, well, I understand what it means to be gay now. Then I didn't.
How did you end up homeless?
My dad had this 18 and out rule, right? And I get it. I think it was economically driven, the fewer people in the house, that means fewer mouths he had to feed kind of thing.
After dropping out of high school in the 90s, Sam says he spent the next few years navigating instability, which involved working during the day and sleeping on friends' couches by night.
At the time, Tim, I didn't understand that as homelessness. I just thought it was just survival.
Eventually getting his GED at age 23 and going even further to earn both a bachelor's and master's degree. And today, finishing up a doctoral program. And it was while working as an administrator in student affairs when Sam says he noticed some of his students dropping out of school, not because of the course load, but for shortfalls in financial aid, resulting in their basic needs for food and housing not being met.
Once I understood that and watched that firsthand at Cal State Northridge and at Cal State LA, that's when I said, okay, let me do something about this.
I know that this led to you forming LA Room and Board, but this is a big task, an undertaking. How did that all come together?
I feel like it was the perfect alignment of the stars, man.
2 weeks before the world went into lockdown during the COVID-19 pandemic, Sam quit his job to focus on launching his vision.
There was a guy named Lewis, who's doing similar work to what we're doing at LA Room and Board, and said, hey, there's this lady who has a house right across the street from UCLA. It's a vacant house. It was a former sorority house, and she's really, really passionate about sort of helping students, and you should meet her. So I met with her, and within 5 minutes of having the conversation, she said, oh, the house is yours. Do what you want to do.
Free.
free, basically free, right? We were just sort of paying just like a small amount of rent and the utilities to have a house in Westwood, right? Which is like adjacent to Bel Air and Beverly Hills, and where we can actually sort of provide some hope, especially during the pandemic where people were really feeling some pain.
The nonprofit, starting a few years ago with just 10 bed spaces, now has nearly 200 in 3 locations across LA.
That is amazing. People caught the vision. Mm-hmm. You know, and all you need is one yes, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely.
You got your yes.
Yeah, I got a major yes.
Yes, you did.
A once $500,000 budget, he says, now balloons to more than $5.5 million a year, supported by a mix of public, private, and legacy donors.
I feel optimistic about our ability to sort of like keep that going, but we always need resources.
Those resources supporting Anasha Venhuda, a junior studying business at Cal State LA. The 25-year-old could not afford an apartment and was couch surfing before arriving here last summer.
What has the experience been like?
It's been such a wonderful, supportive experience here. I got my first 4.0 last semester ever because of the support that they provide here. I don't have to worry about like my next meal or, having a roof over my head. And the best thing is like the family environment that they've cultivated here. And I finally feel like I actually have a home for once.
Sherbert, too. The 21-year-old is studying to get his real estate license.
I'm happy now. I found myself. I found Sherbert.
This year, the nonprofit Better Brothers LA, which grants college scholarships to queer youth, honored Sam's work with a Truth Award.
I spent half of my life running away from my truth. And it's just wild to be in this space tonight. God, I thank you. Wow.
Coming into this space and sort of like creating this work has given me a sense of purpose that I feel like at any moment, like, God, you can take me now. I feel like I did what I was supposed to do on this earth. I made some difference in my community.
What advice would you give a young queer person looking for their purpose, passion, in a world that sometimes still feels like doesn't accept them?
If you can kind of sift past the noise and find your community of people, because those will be your chosen family, right? And because all of us don't get lucky enough to sort of like have a family that loves us and embraces us for who we fully are. When you don't have that with your biological family, there's a family out there waiting for you, I promise, that will embrace you, that will celebrate you, challenge you, and love you just the way you are.
Our thanks to Tim for that. Over the course of their career, the punk trio that some critics have hailed the greatest punk band in the world has taken the music industry by storm. With their new album, Saviors, critics say Green Day is bringing punk back to mainstream music as the 4-time Grammy Award-winning Rock and Roll Hall of Famers set out on a tour this summer. They look back on the writing process behind this new album and what has changed in their more than 30 years together. I had a chance to sit down with the legends for our Prime playlist.
Welcome to my problems. It's not an invitation. This is my dilemma, and it's my obsession.
It's the dawn of a new day for these punk rock legends with a storied career.
Everything for us starts with the music.
Billy Joe Armstrong, Mike Dirnt, and Trey Cool, better known as Green Day, dropped their 14th studio album, Saviors, featuring singles like Dilemma and The American Dream is Killing Me.
The American dream is killing me when it's all double talk of conspiracy.
The album elevated, mature, and lined with political commentary, staying true to their roots.
We wanted to make like just something that was just like straight, more of a punk rock record like the way that we've done in the past. So there's songs like Look Ma, No Brains. There's also, it's like there's the stadium kind of thing that we want to do.
Those stadium anthems like 21 Guns. fueling a long-awaited tour as the band hits the road this summer.
On the Saviors tour, we're going to play American Idiot and Dookie, and it's in their entirety.
For fans, a momentous moment, melding the old with the new for one massive experience.
It's hard to describe, like playing all those songs together and like, knowing like, oh, damn, we just played that record. Let's play another record.
Who knows if whenever this is going to happen again. It's really, really rare.
I think there comes an appreciation with that for like where you were at key moments of your life. I mean, people will say to us, we grew up listening to Dookie, or I grew up listening to American Idiot, or I grew up with your band. So did we. I mean, there's times on stage, if you look, I'm crying, like literally crying. Why is that? Because this song reminds me of my friend that died right after we wrote it. Or this song reminds me of, you know, a really intense part of my life that happened, or his life, or our band. It's cathartic, and it's beautiful at the same time.
The punk trio inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2015.
We were playing punk clubs, squats, backyard parties. We were screen printing T-shirts on Billy Joe's guitar case and hanging them in people's backyards, sleeping on floors, couches, wherever we could. I didn't think back then that we'd be here now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Over the span of our career, we've managed to not really like paint ourselves into a corner musically. There's, you know, influences from all sorts of places, different sounds.
When it came to recording Saviors, the band opted for a change of scenery. Recording in London.
We made the record at Rack Studios in London. We just really wanted to get out of town and do, you know, focus and do something else. And, you know, I think a lot of it was because a lot of the British music that we grew up listening to, like whether it's British Invasion or glam or late 70s punk rock, you know, like the Buzzcocks.
I don't know what it is, 'cause everybody's
The Clash.
a battle come down, London calling to the underworld.
I think we just wanted to breathe that air a little bit more, you know, to kind of see. I would walk in Regent's Park and go to Rack Studios every day in St. John's Wood, and then we would go to the pubs.
This new chapter, just the next step in a legendary career, as the band also celebrates the 20th anniversary of American Idiot.
We get just as much excitement out of playing She or Basket Case or any of the new songs off of Saviors. So with over 150 years of rock and roll experience combined.
Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up.
All on the heels of the 30th anniversary of their breakthrough album, Dookie. The new album echoing familiar tones of fan favorites.
What it is the difference between back in American Idiot is like watching cable news and then now watching social media 20 years later. And that's sort of where all of the chaos of the lyrics kind of comes from.
A major milestone, decades after 10-year-old Armstrong met Dirnt in their school cafeteria. The two created a band called Sweet Children in 1987, changing their name to Green Day 2 years later. Drummer Trey Cool joining the iconic lineup in 1990.
We were our own weirdos when we were kids.
You know, like the first concert I ever went to was like a punk show that I was playing drums in, and seeing other bands in the punk scene and like the East Bay and stuff that's sort of like how I cut my teeth in music.
Well, I think what was important was having the venue, like Gilman Street, where young people can come in and not only be in bands, but have fanzines and volunteer to run the place. It was our own underground. You know, I mean, people talk about like CBGBs in the late 70s, you know, Blondie and the Ramones and Talking Heads, but like that was our thing.
Taking influences from the past, the band goes from adulthood to fatherhood, getting personal with new songs like Father to a Son.
It takes me a long time to get into like songs that are sentimental because it's just, I don't want things to become like schlock, and you want to be really honest, and it takes time for that to sort of unfold. So it was, it seemed like the right time to write that, you know, just especially as they're adults now. You want to leave a legacy behind, not just to fans, but actually to your family, and or something that's like deeply personal. Everything for us starts with the music, and then the controversy comes after that when it comes to writing the lyrics.
I'm running part of a MAGA agenda.
On Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, the band changed a key lyric in their performance of American Idiot, taking aim at former President Donald Trump, something Green Day has always been known for. It's political commentary.
If you strip away the lyrics of a song like American Idiot, or a song like Holiday, it's like the musical merit that we strive for as far as the melody, the playing, bass playing, the drumming, guitar playing, the melody itself. It's like, that's the one thing I never want to ever get lost, is like, so because there's so much of the, like, people look towards like what kind of controversy that, you know, could come out of it.
Speaking out, a through line still clear in their music.
Who needs suicide when the American dream? I think when you just seeing like a lot of the houseless people in the streets, and the sort of the juxtaposition between like, there's another line that says TikTok and taxes. It's sort of like a collage of lyrics where two things don't make sense, but it catches the sort of contradictions.
Decades later, the trio now celebrating the music, the journey, and the fans.
It's great to finally stop and look back and celebrate these records. I think we did a good job of capturing where we were and keeping it timeless. We always want to capture like what the three of us sound like in its maximum form. But it's also important that we can be everybody's band, not just from Dookie and American Idiot right now.
And Green Day will be making a huge appearance on our Good Morning America Summer Concert Series. You can see them play July 26th. And if you want to see more of our favorite artists like Ray, Money Long, Steve Aoki, you can watch episodes of the playlist streaming right now on Hulu as well. And that's our show for tonight. I'm Phil Lipoff. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, and of course, abcnews.com. Have a good night.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored